Hi everyone, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide. A couple of days ago, there was a chapter 3 of the Remarkable 2 blog that came out, and this time it's titled The Hardware, and finally we have an interesting read, a properly interesting read, something that I've actually been looking forward to since the beginning. This one is finally down to earth and it goes into nitty-gritty and a creative process of actually designing and engineering Remarkable 2, which I think is the best part of that product, the engineering and the design of it. So for me personally, it was a very interesting read, especially because it's nicely organized and layered, and it goes into the details that, of course, the quest for thinness, how important it is, how vital it is, what complications were there. I mean, even taking into account the thinness or the thickness of the flex cable that goes in, how to lay out the components, what to do with the batteries. It was properly interesting for me because, yeah, I'm kind of nerdy, so I'm interested in that kind of stuff. Another cool point in the article is them addressing the surface friction or the revisions and the process it took to actually perfect and get the surface friction that I actually prefer on Remarkable 2, especially for prolonged use. It definitely is something that I like a lot more, and it makes sense. Now you actually, when you read through the article and you see the level of details they're going into, microscopic scans, 3D microscopic scans, and user testing and all that kind of stuff, yeah, the result is definitely there and you can feel it. And then, of course, the magnets themselves, which is a huge thing because e-ink devices and the markers, they don't play along well with magnets. It was quite interesting to see how did you get a very thin but a strong and effective magnet that doesn't interfere with the screen or the marker itself. And yeah, the thing that I basically took for granted, which was the folio. Hey, it looks nice and it's great, but how thin it is. And basically what they achieved is that the whole package, the Remarkable 2 with the folio, is just the front cover smidge thicker than the Remarkable 1. So even the folio itself had to be engineered to be strong, durable, and thin and light at the same time. So definitely kudos again for the hardware design team and the engineering that went into creating this, for me, engineering masterpiece. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. And another thing that was also quite interesting that they mentioned, and that is the decision to go with the same color on the front and the back and the same texture, tactile feel on the front and the back. And that kind of clarified to me why this device feels so different and so special than anything else. You remember that I mentioned that it doesn't feel like a tablet at all, it more feels like a slate? Well, that was obviously intentional and just another pin into the brilliance of the design of it. And yeah, it's a conscious thing, and you can see that they had a revision after revision after revision to get this product to be the way it is. So now I've had it for quite a while and I've been using it in very different types of situations, and yes, software is bad, but the hardware itself really good. And the design, I just keep being blown away, and I love the details, and I still love it. Actually, I love it even more as far as the design and build quality goes. Overall, I think it's an excellent article that finally addresses something that I've been very interested in, and that is Remarkable 2's strongest point, which is hardware design and engineering. Now, before I sign off on this short little video, I wanted to mention two things. First, I want to issue an apology regarding the reporting of the standby battery consumption time in the Remarkable 1 versus Remarkable 2 testing. I reported that Remarkable 1 standby was 0% after 24 hours. That was incorrect, and that's my bad, I'm sorry, because the Remarkable 1 that I was testing it on had the auto shut off after 6 or 12 hours turned on. And since I switched from one Remarkable 1 to the other one, I forgot that it was not turned on that one. So it's totally my bad. And here are the updated results, and there's a huge improvement in the standby performance. I redid it last night, and Remarkable 2 went from 64% to 63%, but then again, it was on 64% for a long time. So I wouldn't say that the consumption for 24 hours of standby time is 1%. I think it's less than 1% from what I've actually seen. However, Remarkable 1 went from 96% down to 74%. So we have 22% of the battery gone in standby in 24 hours. So this is a huge, huge difference and a game changer for quite a few people that it will be. So the standby battery consumption time on Remarkable 2 has been dramatically improved in relation to Remarkable 1. So I think that's going to be a big deal, and again, an apology for this mistake that I made. The second thing that I wanted to address was, again, leaning on this battery consumption and efficiency in Remarkable 2, and what we can deduce from a comment that the Remarkable team has been giving out to people when they ask about improvements in software and blah, 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 blah. And one of the things that goes out is this sentence. It says, "Our focus has been on further enhancing the writing experience and increasing the battery life. These two properties are both core to the Remarkable experience, and the architecture and software, so architecture and software, are specifically tuned to further enhance these." So let me just sum it up. So even though we have a much more improved hardware and everything else, it has been specifically tuned, the architecture, software and hardware, to further enhance the writing experience and the battery life. This seems to confirm something that quite a few people on the Reddit community have been talking about, and that is that the dual core CPU that's there does not necessarily need to mean that it's going to be increased performance, but that it has been specifically tuned for battery efficiency. And this, combined with the standby battery consumption time difference between Remarkable 1 and the Remarkable 2, seems to confirm this. This just spiked up as a priority for me, and I think it's going to be interesting to actually dig in to the device itself and see what we actually get, and if the SSH command lines are going to give us some meaningful info or not. As one of the Reddit users also said, it's fine to have a balanced plan, but why not have a choosable power plan so that people can actually decide, hey, I want a battery balanced or battery efficient power plan, or I can switch to high performance power plan if that's what you want out of your device. However, I really doubt that this is something that will happen. I think this is extremely unlikely, as it simply doesn't fit with the Remarkable's mentality so far that we've seen. It looks like they have a very extremely rigid structure that they've set like a long time ago, and for better or worse, they seem very committed to it and quite immovable. And I just want to make a little callback to the article. I wish that the team would invest as much attention and dedication to the software side of things as they did for the design side of things. I mean, if you're putting the screen surface through microscopes and you're taking into consideration the thickness of cables and all that kind of stuff, well, the device then deserves similar type of attention on the software side of things, wouldn't you say? But anyway, I really enjoyed the article, and yeah, I'm happy that I was able to actually address this battery thingy. Again, sorry about that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and consider becoming a Patreon if you do like what I work. You can find the link down below for my Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for the support, and see you in the next video. Bye!